Howdy, I'm back with another review. So there's this two-part documentary that came out about Paul Reubens on Max. It's a total of about 3.5 hours. Like I said, it's in two parts. If you weren't into Pee Wee Herman, then you won't care about this. If you didn't pay attention to him, you won't care about this. I was in an interesting space. I was the age demographic of the adults, and I it wasn't really my thing, but I hung out with an artsy fartsy crowd when I was young. Gosh, 20 years old, something like that. And the gal who sort of was the ringleader of that group, she's like, "Oh, you got to see this! Is so cool." And I thought, "Oh, it's kind of quirky." I didn't know what to make of it, but so I was always aware of them. Kind of watched it with that group, and so I knew what was going on. I thought when he got busted in the adult theater, that was pretty unfair. I mean, that was what went on in those things, and why were cops being paid to hang out in adult theaters to bust people that went there to go and do whatever's going on? He supposedly um, exposed himself, and then the whole um, gosh, well, when they were trying to railroad him over what was supposedly child porn when it wasn't, it was gay erotica, and yeah, that was ridiculous. Everybody was old enough. I guess there was one picture where the guy looked youngish, but like 18. Anyway, whole thing was ridiculous. Tragic thing about this story is apparently he had cancer, Paul Rubens, during the filming of this. He didn't tell anybody, and he died like a couple months after they were filming. This is really well put together. A lot of people got their start on his show. There was oh gosh, what's Jimmy Smits and Lawrence Fishburne and oh, the comic's name escapes me right now. He went on to SNL. His wife murdered him. Great dude. He did Troy McClure on The Simpsons. Anyway, this is really well done. I mean, he wasn't particularly cooperative. You can tell from the interviews, but he recorded so much stuff over his life, pictures and video and stuff. And it covers him from a boy and his motivations and everything, and up through adulthood. And he was very driven. He was very meticulous, and he knew what he wanted to do, and he did it. I think this was exceptionally well done. Especially given all the constraints. There were so many people in his life that I didn't even realize that were, in that circle. Like David Arquette was another one, Tim Burton, Debbie Mazar. I hadn't seen her around in a while. So I think it's a worthwhile watch if, Paul Rubens and Pee Wee Herman was something you were aware of and interested in. So check it out.